Hello everyone, my name is Richie and welcome back to another video. Today join me on the Peninsula corridor route because today we're going to compare this route between Train Sim World and Train Sim Classic. So today I thought I'd do this because if you didn't already know, these routes both on the Train Sim World version and the Train Sim Classic version are soon to be taken off sale because the Caltrain licensing is soon to be lapsed from the 27th of February. So to sort of like say a sort of farewell to the route, obviously we can still play it after the 27th, but you can't buy it after the 27th. We're going to do a comparison video between this route and Train Sim Classic because obviously it's both Train Sim World and Train Sim Classic that will be affected. So let's jump into it anyway and compare this route in Train Sim World and Train Simulator Classic, where we're going to have a little look at the key points along the route. Obviously, you know, San Francisco, San Jose and whatever else. Have a little look at the route map, have a little look at the main menu, and yeah, just compare Peninsula Corridor between Train Simulator Classic and Train Sim World. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at Train Simulator Classic first, which is normally the way I do it, but I'm way more familiar with this route on Train Sim World because obviously I've played Peninsula Corridor since I ever owned it in like 2020 or whenever it first came out. So it's going to be interesting because obviously I know Peninsula Corridor in Train Sim World quite well, but not in this route so much. Obviously I can imagine it's going to look the same, but that's where I'm going to sort of like look at it and think, oh, actually I recognise that from the Train Sim World version. So what we'll do before we get driving is we'll jump into the main menu, have a little look at what you get with this route if you end up picking it up before the 27th, and also what sort of scenarios you can do, and then we'll do the same in Train Sim World. So let's jump into the main menu. So here we go, we've jumped into the main menu, and here we go, we've got two versions of the Peninsula Corridor in Train Simulator Classic. We've got the original, which I think came out in like 2016, and then we've got this updated version, which came out I think like a year or two later, which actually goes down to Gilroy. So this route covers what we get in Train Sim World, which goes as far as San Jose. But obviously if you get this version, I believe it gives you both anyway. Obviously I picked up this one on Steam. They're all 80% off, by the way, are the DLCs. And then I think the scenario packs are 35% off at the minute. But yeah, if you get the Gilroy version, you also get the superseded version, let's say. But yeah, jumping into all the scenarios and the included rolling stock and stuff. So obviously the sort of star of the show across this route and the Train Sim World version is the EMD F40PH, which is this wonderful looking thing here. As you can see here, we've got a fair few scenarios. Bear in mind, I do have the scenario packs for this, which are like £2 each. You might as well get them whilst they're on sale. But they give you 8 scenarios for the F40PH. You've also got the EMD GP38, which is this thing here. That's what that is. It also does some stuff on the older route, I think. Ah, yeah, I've just spotted that there. There you go. So if you actually select the locos, you can see that they've got scenarios on both routes. That one doesn't, but the EMD does. It does some scenarios on the original Peninsula Corridor and also on the updated one down to Gilroy. And then, of course, you've got some cab car services going back the other way, which is this thing here, which you can see does a couple of scenarios there. You also, I mean, I've seemingly got the MP36, the Baby Bullet. I don't actually know what scenarios it does, so if anyone knows, please let me know in the comments, because I would imagine you'd have a couple of scenarios with that. Anyway, for the purposes of today's video, we're going to be just jumping along different parts of the route. So we're going to start at San Francisco, and let's have a little look at the list of stations that I recognise. We'll have a look at San Francisco for sure. We'll then jump across to Millbrae, because that's quite a key station, isn't it? Quite a big station. And then, of course, we'll jump into San Jose as well. That'll be a good one to have a little look at. But, you know, we'll kind of get an idea of what the route looks like between this version and the Train Sim World version. But yeah, there's quite a lot of stations on both the routes, obviously. The Gilroy version's got a lot more stations, and I've never actually been down to Gilroy in this version before, so I might even jump down to there, but obviously we can't then look at that in Train Sim World because that's not in the Train Sim World version. Anyway, with all that waffling aside, let's jump into San Francisco and have a little look around there, shall we? And just like that, we are here at San Francisco, and here you go, you can see that we've got the MP36s. So like I said, I picked up the extended version and it gave me both routes, which also gave me the MP36, so I don't know what it does scenario wise, so it'll be interesting to find out. But yeah, this is San Francisco Station. Obviously you've got the San Francisco skyline there, which I know already looks better in the Train Sim World version. Obviously a key thing you've got to mention is Train Simulator Classic is built on an older engine, so when you compare Train Simulator Classic to Train Sim World, it's not really a fair comparison, but it kind of just gives you an idea of what the routes look like and how they've been represented, and you know, sort of how similar they look. I want to quickly have a look over here because obviously I recognise all this sort of like glass building and whatever else. Can you go in there? Oh, you can. Oh, okay, nice. It's been all modelled around here, which is quite cool. Yeah, nice. That's all been nicely modelled. Oh, I've not spotted that before. Some tram lines. Obviously, you'd get the the retro looking trams in San Francisco, so I wonder if they'd call there. I've never spotted that in the Train Sim World version. But yeah, there we go, that's San Francisco. We'll fly on over here, shall we? Have a little look. We've got something coming in there. There you go. Look at that. Obviously the MP36 and the associated cab cars can be run in Train Sim World, so if you do want to give them a drive, you can give them a drive in Train Sim World. Got a couple of sidings over there, very nice, yeah, cool. I do quite like this route. I'd probably say it's one of my favourite American routes, just because it's, you know, it's quite a lengthy run, but also there's a lot of services on it. So it's a shame that the whole Caltrain thing's happening, because it's a beautiful route and it would have been really nice to have it like overhauled to Todd 4 and stuff. Obviously a key thing to note here is that it all goes underneath a highway, which I recognise, and then we've got 22nd Street, which is down here through that tunnel, but I think it might kick us out. Oh no, it's let us get to 22nd Street, so here you go, here's 22nd Street as well. Very nice, got some PIS working down there. Cool, look at that, lovely stuff. Looks very British, but it's still working PIS, which is nice. Cool, right, so that's San Francisco and the surrounding area. Let's jump into maybe Millbrae and have a little look around there, shall we? And here we go, we've jumped into Millbrae, which is quite interesting because I thought it was a bit more of a significant station. Ah, there we go, there we go. That's what I was expecting to see from Millbrae. So interestingly, we're sort of serving a station just outside of the sort of key station, let's say. Oh no, it's actually all connected. That's quite cool. Okay, so maybe because I've like jumped into quick drive, it starts there, which is quite interesting, because normally you'd sort of come in this way down here, and then that's how you'd end up in the station over there. Quite interesting. Let's have a little look inside the station itself. Obviously in the Train Sim World version you can run around here, lifts and stuff, which obviously don't work. Yeah, cool, nice. You can see all the internals. Let's have a little fly around, shall we? See, as we fly on down here, you can see very Californian looking houses, very nice. Palm trees and all that sort of good stuff. Kind of reminds me of all the Metrolink stuff we've got in Train Sim World. Oh, that's interesting. An airport. Okay, cool. So I'll have a little look for an airport in the Train Sim World version. I have seen planes flying around in the Train Sim World version, but I didn't know there was an airport there, so that's cool to note. And then if we head on north from Millbrae, I need to show you the map, don't I? So I'll show you that in a second, but we'll head on up this way, and yeah, it looks all pretty much very familiar. It looks very similar to the Train Sim World version, as it should, as it should. Very nice. Right, there we go. So let's go back to Millbrae and have a little look at the route map, because I keep meaning to do that. Right then, here's the route map. Let's have a little fly around here and have a look at what we can see. So it starts up here at San Francisco, obviously, and then it goes around this curve down to 22nd Street here. Interestingly, I've never spotted this before. There's loads of like sidings and stuff. I don't think this is in the Train Sim World version. Obviously, that's where all the EMD, what is it, the 38 one comes in, and you do all sorts of stuff around here. As we head on south here, you've obviously got Bayshore, we've got whatever this station is here, South San Francisco. That probably would have been a key one to look at, to be fair. There's an MP36, there you go. So you do see AI MP36s. There's our train here at Millbrae. As we keep going down, we've got some more sidings and stuff here at the harbour. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, nice. So we've got plenty of stuff going on here too as well. So if you like your freight in Train Simulator Classic, I think this might be the right one for you. And then you can see that the stations get quite thick and fast down here. So, you know, they're all very quick down here. Down here we've got Lawrence. That's also quite a significant station, I guess. And then if you keep going, we've got San Jose. There you go. And also the sort of, what do they call this now? It's like an EMF, like a maintenance depot. And that's sort of the initial 50 miles you'd get in Train Sim World as well. But then the route carries on south down here. So obviously you've got Tamian, I think it's called. And then you've got some stuff going on here. And then you keep going south and then you end up in Gilroy down here, I think. There it is, Gilroy, which is actually only one station. That's interesting. We'll have a little look at Gilroy, I think. I'm intrigued. But it keeps going. It just keeps going to down here. What's this? Hollister Loop. Okay, cool. So this is fairly lengthy. I think this is almost like 100 miles. But yeah, that was a little look at the map. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to jump into maybe Redwood City, because obviously we've got all these sidings here, which I'm quite intrigued about, and I want to see if they're sort of like accessible in the Train Sim World version. So we'll jump into Redwood City and have a little fly around here. And here we go, Redwood City. And an interesting thing to note is that the sounds are different between this version and the Train Sim World version. This F40 doesn't sound the same as the Train Sim World version. The one in Train Sim World sounds a lot better. But yeah, anyway, this is Redwood. Obviously you've got to San Francisco and San Jose signs over there. Cool. station signage, all that sort of standard stuff. Some buses. Let's see if there's any buses in the Train Sim World version. That's quite cool. They're saying that they're going to San Jose. That's pretty neat, actually. Got a cool little sign here, which I do recognise, actually. Climate Best by Government Tests. There you go. So, if I'm correct, if we head this way, we'll see them sidings at some point. Obviously, Redwood City, very significant, I think. But yeah, here's them sidings going off up here, which obviously you can do stuff in this version. Obviously, we can't go any further, but you can see there's all stuff down there. Plenty of stuff going on siding-wise, which is quite cool. We've also got a very distant MP36. Can you see that down there? Look at it go. We'll have a little fly down here, see what we can see. Tall trees, all that sort of good stuff. Some big highways, what looks to be maybe like a McDonald's or something. Yeah, there you go. That's the ins and outs of Redwood. So yeah, that's a little look at Redwood City, as we've got another MP36 coming in down there. We'll jump into maybe San Jose next, have a look at the south end of the line, and then we're going to have a little look at Gilroy, because Gilroy's intriguing me. And here we go, we're at San Jose Diridon, I think they call it. We'll have a little fly around here, shall we? I want to have a little look at the maintenance depot. You got some stuff going in here. Yeah, look at that, we've got an F40 leaving there, very nice. And then if we fly around this corner, we should see the depot. There's also some stuff going on down here, which is quite cool. Oh, I'm stupid, I was going the wrong way. No, right, so the depot should be around here. We've got a massive car park down here. Massive car park. Here we go. This looks like a depot. There you go, you got another MP36 there. Okay, cool. That's the one thing I wanted to check to see if it was all branded, which I think it is. And again, very similar in the Train Sim World version. You can also go in here, look at that. But yeah, there you go, that's the maintenance depot, and then it heads on down there towards like Lawrence and such, and then back up to San Francisco. So that was a little look around San Jose. Again, very significant, and also the maintenance depot looks, you know, pretty decent. Got plenty of stuff going on there. A big shopping centre, that's one thing I want to have a little look at in the Train Sim World version. And then we're going to head on south down here towards Gilroy and have a little look, because I'm intrigued. Obviously we won't be able to see that in the Train Sim World version, but let's have a little look at Gilroy, shall we? And here we go, we're here at Gilroy, which looks really, really interesting, to be fair. Obviously we've got a singular track platform. There we go. We've got a cool little station plaque here, Caltrain station, an old sort of Caltrain logo. That's quite neat, actually. But yeah, it's interesting. It's sort of like a single track line down here, which is very cool, I must admit. So I'm guessing the sort of section between San Jose and Gilroy is all single track for about 40 miles. So I could imagine it probably doesn't add much gameplay wise. That's probably why I didn't add it initially. But yeah, that's a little look at Gilroy. Obviously it's all single track around here, and then if you head on south, again, it just keeps going. It just keeps going for a very long time. I'm not too sure exactly how long this section is, but it's certainly lengthy. I know that the San Francisco to San Jose section is about 50 miles, so by the looks of the map, it just keeps going and keeps going. And there we go, that was a brief little look at the Peninsula Corridor route in Train Simulator Classic. So what we'll do is we'll jump across the Train Sim World, do the same sort of thing again, jump into the main menu and look at the key points of interest we've looked at today. And yeah, we'll see what this route looks like in Train Sim World, so I'll see you there. And here we go, I've jumped into the Train Sim World version, and we're back here at San Francisco, so let's have a little look around here, shall we? So let's fly around here. Obviously, like I said before, the San Francisco skyline looks absolutely fantastic in this. Some key landmarks and sort of recognisable buildings you can see. You know, compared to the Train Simulator Classic version. And of course, another thing we need to mention is how busy San Francisco actually is. I've jumped into the Baby Bullet timetable, so if you get the Caltrain MP36 DLC, which again is on sale, is like 80% off, you do get two versions of the timetable. You get a standard and obviously the Baby Bullet timetable. But yeah, it seems a lot busier here than it does in the Train Simulator Classic version. Obviously, the Train Simulator Classic version doesn't really have a timetable mode, so these are all sort of like due to do something throughout the day. I think most of these here are sort of like they stay here for a couple of hours and then they head out a little later on. Anyway, with that said, let's have a little fly down here. So again, like I mentioned, the sort of big glass building at the end, which you can actually go into. You can walk around here, which is very interesting. You can see there's loads of like ticket things. I think there's some collectibles in and around these sorts of areas too. And also, interestingly, we can't go through there. We probably could if we get out the building. But if we go out here and fly over here, obviously we've got the San Francisco at 4th and King Street. There you go. So that signage is there too. Is that tram station there? Oh yeah, it is. That tram station's there, but there's no tram tracks. So obviously the tram tracks are there, and then it sort of like stops going. But you can see that they've modelled the station, and obviously the trams would head on down there. So that's a cool little feature. I've never spotted that before. But yeah, we'll fly on down here too. We'll have a little look. So obviously them sidings are there. Again, The thing I find with Train Sim World is that when you compare it to the Train Simulator Classic version, like the routes feel a lot bigger, like they're actually like sort of like more one-to-one scale. Obviously we can head on over here and underneath the highway. I must admit the scenery is a bit interesting over there, I won't lie. Obviously this is a very old route, this is one of the first Train Sim World routes. You know, when I say one of the first, like really early days, like 2019, 2020. And obviously scenery is not that great compared to, like, for example, Millbrae Barn, which is the most recent release, which looks absolutely stunning. But yeah, you see that we can go underneath here, and then we sort of like head through that tunnel again down towards 22nd Street. So yeah, but yeah, that's a little look in and around San Francisco. What I need to do before I forget is actually jump back into the main menu and show you what you get with, well, I'm going to show you what you get with the base package and also with the MP36 DLC. And then we'll jump into maybe Millbrae and have a little look around there. So let's jump into the main menu. So here we go, we're in the main menu, and this is what you get with Peninsula Corridor. So you get 170 services, we'll have a little look. So obviously, like I said earlier, you get two versions of the timetable. The standard, I think they're pretty much the same, but with the Baby Bullet timetable, it basically assigns the express runs to the MP36. But yeah, you can see there's all sorts of stuff going on here. You've got the MP40, you've got the GP38, so you can do some freight on this route. Actually, quite a bit of freight, to be fair. You've also got the MP15 DC, which again is another little loco DLC. Again, it's on sale. You know, pick this up and you've got a couple of shunting moves, which is quite cool. Got all sorts of stuff going on there. And of course, we've got the MP36, which I think essentially subs in for stuff in this original timetable, but it has some sort of like specific moves in the in its own timetable. So if I jump into the Baby Bullet timetable, again you can see pretty much identical, but the difference here is that you get a new cab car, which I think again does it subs in, or I don't know how it works, but it does the express runs anyway. There you go, you've got some Baby Bullet services there which you can do. And as for scenarios, we've got 11 in this compared to like what, the 16 in Train Simulator Classic. So you've got a couple with the F40 there, some with the GP38, you've got a couple with the MP15 DC, and also some with the MP36, so you've got plenty of scenarios there. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll jump in on foot, and I've learnt a way to do this. I'm going to jump in on foot, and then I'm going to like fast travel between the key points, and then spawn something random in and have a little fly around. So let's jump into Millbrae, shall we? And here we go, we're here at Millbrae. So this is interesting, we spawn in that sort of building that I showed you in the Train Simulator Classic version, the sort of, you know, the concourse, let's say. So let's have a little run down here if we can. Can we get down there? Yeah, you can go through them turnstiles and head down here. Got some non-functioning escalators, but you know, the technology for the escalators didn't come in till like, I think it was Long Island Railroad. And here it is, this is Millbrae. So before we spawn something in free roam, we'll have a little look at the map, and I'll show you what the map's like in this route. So here we go, here is the map. So obviously if you remember, we started at San Francisco down here, and then you head down to, what is it, 22nd Street, somewhere down here. You keep going. Obviously round here, I think there was loads of sidings. We don't have them in the Train Sim World version. I'm not really surprised, to be fair. Keep heading down here to where we are at Millbrae, which we'll have a little fly around in a second. And then you keep going, you obviously got all the stations down here. And then I think Redwood City is here. So you can actually see that all the sort of sidings and all the sort of freight stuff actually isn't in this route. But obviously with newer routes, they have obviously included more playable areas, like freight yards and stuff. Look at, for example, San Bernardino line. It's got loads of different freight areas that you can access. Millbrae Barn's a good example. Midland Main Line's got loads of different, you know, playable things. So with newer routes, it's getting easier and easier and easier to sort of like understand Unreal. So obviously they're able to expand on what they were able to do 5 years ago. So anyway, waffling aside, we keep going down here. You've obviously got Lawrence and stuff down here, and then you keep going, and then you end up at San Jose Diridon down here, and obviously you've got the depot down here, which is very nice, the CEMOF. And then the route heads on south down towards Gilroy down here, which again, I kind of feel like it would have been a nice little addition to the route, but you know, again, you know, resourcing and how long it took to build routes back in the day, I can imagine they would have had to have cut it at a sensible point, which makes sense to cut it there. But yeah, anyway, that's the map. I've been hearing planes fly about, so there's one there, there's a plane there, so we need to have a little look for that airport. There's a plane there too, so there's all sorts going on. So yeah, let's spawn something in and have a little fly around. So what should we spawn in? Should we spawn in the MP36? We should have probably spawned in its cousin, but we'll spawn that one in for now. There you go, the MP36. Let's get in and let's have a little fly around. I must admit, it sounds very nice, the MP36. Anyway, let's fly around Millbrae. So again, the station modelling here is pretty spot on. And then if we head on this way, I think that's where the airport was. Here we go. I see an airport. I see a control tower of some kind. Let's have a little look. Yeah, there you go. There's the airport. So I've never spotted that before, but obviously you can quite blatantly see the airport which we saw in Train Simulator Classic. Yeah, here we go. We're flying down here and I can see that bridge where it veers off to the right towards the airport. So that's all included. Is that like a light rail system? I would imagine it is. It looks a bit more distinctive in this version. Obviously in the Train Simulator Classic version it all looked like the sort of same part of track, but you can blatantly see there's a difference between this track and that track. That looks like third rail to me. But yeah, there's the airport. Let's fly on back this way. Obviously a key thing to note here is the lighting. The lighting is the old version of the Train Sim World lighting, not the TOD 4 stuff. So like I say, this route would have been absolutely spectacular in TOD 4. You know, with maybe some updated scenery and all that sort of good stuff. So it's a shame that we might not see it. I mean, you know, there's still a possibility that Caltrain could, you know, come back at some point in the future, but for the time being, this route's staying as it is. But yeah, that's Millbrae, and there's that platform there where we started before. So is it all gated off like it is in the Train Simulator Classic version? No, it's all just part of the same stuff. So in the Train Simulator Classic version, it's actually all gated off around here. So I'm not too sure which one's correct. But yeah, anyway, that was a little look at Millbrae. Also, PIS, interesting to note. So what we'll do is we'll fast travel now. I need to despawn this thing, so let me go onto the map. Can we just do it this way? Can we just despawn it this way, yeah? Remove train. Yeah, there you go. Cool, get off the tracks quick. And then we'll spawn in somewhere else. So let's have a little look at the map. Where should we go next? We went to Redwood, didn't we? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Go to Redwood. Let's do that. And here we go. We've spawned in here at Redwood City. Again, the modelling's really nice, like trackside and stuff. You've got all these cool little ticket machines. We've just fixed one there, which is quite cool. There's also another little collectible here. What's that? Oh, nice. A nice little poster. Yeah, obviously a key thing to note is the sort of station signage as well. I recognise all this as sort of like blue station plaques and stuff. Also, the signage here. So obviously the fence in the middle, and it said caution express trains. So I did see that in the Train Simulator Classic version. Oh, what's this? Oh, look at that! Beautiful. There you go. There's the MP15. That's cool. I timed that well, didn't I? But yeah, off goes that MP15 or whatever it's called. Let's spawn in the cousin of the MP36. So let's spawn in the Metrolink version, just because we can. Let's spawn that one in. Let's spawn it in there. Cool. Lovely stuff. There it is. Looks really nice. Do you know what? I much prefer it in the Metrolink colours. Rightio, here we go. So we're heading towards the sidings now just to have a little look at all the freight stuff. But, you know, Redwood seems fairly built up. Very nice. Again, seems very Californian. I'm not too sure about these houses here. These look a bit more, you know, out in the sticks. But some of the houses look quite Californian. And then obviously you've got you have got the sidings. You can sort of see them, and there's stuff populated in there. You've obviously got a GP38 or whatever it is down there. You've also got something there. Okay, so can you actually go down there? No, you can't go down there. There's like an invisible wall. So you can't go down there, but there's stock down there. There's obviously some freight stuff. So if you want to do some freight stuff, you can do it. And there's also some stuff there. So they've populated it with stuff, which is quite cool. It's not empty like it was in the Train Simulator Classic version, so that's a cool little thing to note. One thing I've definitely noted in the Train Sim World version that I didn't notice in the Train Simulator Classic version is these billboards and stuff. I didn't see them. I must have missed them, but they're dotted about across the Train Sim World version, which is quite cool. Obviously, another thing to note here is the Redwood City, the Climate Best by government test. There you go. So the same sort of little monument is there, which is quite cool. But yeah, again, very, very built up. I can imagine this is what, you know, Redwood City looks like. There we go. Cool little railroad crossings and stuff there. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Some nice infrastructure here. I like that. Got some cool little works going on down here. Very nice. So that was in and around Redwood City. So let's jump into our final place of San Jose and have a little fly around there and have a little look at the depot. And here we go, we're at San Jose as we've got an F40 leaving there. Look at that for timing, lovely stuff. So we can nick that MP36 down there, that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into that. Rightio then, so this is San Jose Diridon, which is very nice looking. It looks very similar to the Train Simulator Classic version. If we head on, which way do we need to go? I think we need to go this way towards the depot and have a little look. I think it's this way. I might make the same mistake. No, it's not that way, it's the other way. That way's towards Gilroy. I should have known that, it looks very familiar. Off we go, off goes that F40 that we just saw a moment ago. Off it goes, back up north. You can see, you know, the nice cab car there, which is very cool. You know, overall, this route is really fun to drive. I do quite enjoy it. There you go. I spot it. I spot the Caltrain depot. It's really cool. It's a really cool little depot. You can't actually get in there, though, I don't think. No, you can't get in there. But yeah, fully branded depot, which is quite nice. You've got plenty of stock in here. Got stuff around here. You've got some coaches and stuff, which is very cool. Nice and populated. And we've got an MP15 there, which is really fun to drive. But yeah, there's the depot, which is quite cool. You can have a little fly around there and all that sort of good stuff. Plenty of stuff going on there, and you can see that San Jose is incredibly built up. So, you know, the distant scenery is a bit questionable, but the sort of nearer to the station and nearer to the tracks sort of scenery is very nice, very built up, and you can definitely get the sort of vibe that it's a city. Also, there's that massive shopping centre there, look. There you go. Something else is going. There you go. Off goes that F40 there. Nice. And there we go. That was a little look at the Peninsula Corridor route in Train Sim World and Train Simulator Classic. Very interesting to see. Obviously, very similar looking. The references have remained the same. The only big difference is that the Train Simulator Classic version goes down to Gilroy. But yeah, let me know what you think. You know, what's your favourite version, the Train Sim World one or the Train Simulator Classic one? Obviously, do you like going down to Gilroy in Train Simulator Classic, or do you like the timetable mode of Train Sim World? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, that was a brief look at the key points along the route, but if you want to see a full-on comparison, I will be streaming it on the same day this goes up, so feel free to come and check that out, and we'll have a little full-line run in both the Train Sim World and the Train Sim Classic versions. And of course, the big thing to say is that if you've not picked up the Peninsula Corridor, either the Train Sim World version or the Train Simulator Classic version and the associated DLC that go with it, I would highly recommend you pick it up, because you've got 3 days or however many days left to pick it up. So, you know, it's a good route, it's a good bit of fun, and I mean, although I haven't really played the Train Simulator Classic version that much, I can imagine going down to Gilroy is going to be a good bit of fun. So yeah, if it's something that takes your fancy, pick it up whilst you can, because after the 27th of February it might not come back, so go and pick it up. It's all up to 80% off, so you know, you can't really go wrong, so get it whilst you can. So now that we're safely here at San Jose Diridon in the Train Sim World version of Peninsula Corridor, I'm going to leave that video there. Thank you all very much for watching this video. I've been Richie, and I'll hopefully see you all next time. Bye bye.